Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast presented by Bet365 and Ace Hardware Home Services. Download the Bet365 app and use code PHLY365 when you sign up. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, and visit AceHardwareHomeservices.com to get started on your next project. As you see, Radio Row is popping. We've got Fran Duffy. We've got Super Bowl champion Vinny Curry. We've got his teammate, Super Bowl champion Beau Allen. And you guys are used to playing next to each other. Beau, thank you for joining us.
This is a comfort zone for me. Vinny on my outside, it feels nice, dude. It feels really good.
We come back from Vinny dominating the Eagles media session earlier today, which we will get to. We'll play for the people. We're walking in, and here comes Beau driving by, leaning out, and what do you yell?
All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
And what's the story for that, Vinny?
Oh, all of a sudden, Vinny Curry's in the media.
All of a sudden, we got Beau Allen. He got long hair.
Oh,
we got Vinny Curry. He's got tattoos.
Everything is clicking.
Everything is
clicking. It
You
must
know
be
who
Super Bowl
who
weekend.
this is from, Fran?
No. Lay it on me.
Jerry Azanero.
Oh, very nice.
One of a kind. A great D-line coach that Vinny and I shared, who just had these kind of quips that just stuck with us. And that's one of them that I think of it every time I see you, Vinny. It's incredible.
Everybody says that. Everybody. I said, yo, man, I must, yo, man, yo, Coach Az, man, just one of the coaches, man, and it's just go. Next guy, clip, hit, there. Always work together.
What is it about the 2017 defensive line that turned guys into media superstars?
We won a Super Bowl.
In Philadelphia.
Yeah, right. And then you guys took a little sojourn to Tampa together.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Vinny was like, hey, my guy Beau is down here in Florida. I miss him. I haven't seen him in so long. Let me go down there and hang out with him in Tampa.
I got there 90 days in. I looked around. I said, Beau, you're on your own. I got to go home.
It's too hot. Give me back to Philly.
Beau, how would you compare that D-line to this Eagles defensive line?
I love this Eagles defensive line. I think overall, incredibly talented young group. Like I can't say enough good things about this team, but especially this D-line. I think we're better, right? Like, come on, man. I think we had like a great group of like vets that had played a lot and kind of really understood each other, and we understood our games, and like that's why I love playing with Vinny. Like we had played together so much. I think overall this unit is more talented, but I think maybe we were slightly deeper across the board.
Certainly played more guys. Like you rotated.
We really rolled through, but that was more just because of Jim's defense and everything like that. But like these dudes, like Jalen Carter is
a dog.
But I I think people forget how good Fletcher was. You know, like Fletcher was the guy.
So Beau, a little bit throughout the early episodes, we actually talking about that. But I said, yeah, okay, if you take everybody by age, and where we at that point in time,
Sure.
I like to stand on that one,
Bro, we were good.
bro. You know, but I will say this.
Say it.
All of a sudden.
Say it, yeah.
Come after the bye week, all of a sudden, all we talk about is the D-line on defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
bit.
I think the defense in general for this team is better. You know what I mean? Like, look at these guys. Like Zach Bond, man, Wisconsin guy. I love him. Dog. Exactly. He's playing an MVP caliber.
Dude, that's
unbelievable.
He's super good. And look at Cooper. Look at Quinion.
Yeah. That's called when preparation meets opportunity.
Like that.
That sounded like another ad.
When preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah, that's how you get success.
Beau, who do you like as the X factor outside of Jalen up front on the defensive line in this matchup here against Kansas City? Who are you expecting to have that kind of breakout performance?
I think Nolan Smith is going to have a good game.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been playing really well, and like the linebacking group for this team is so good and very deep too, and like Burks like playing really good as a guy who's filled in for a pretty devastating injury, but I like Nolan Smith. I think he's really come along this year, and I think he's going to have a big game. He's played really well in the playoffs.
Yeah.
What do you like Nolan?
Oh, yeah.
As a rusher?
Oh, yeah.
He's been calling him. He's been big on Nolan all season long.
Actually, who's going to have a huge game? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Beau. BG. BG is going to have a – yes. Like, BG's got those fresh legs, dude.
Yeah, he does.
That's a good point.
I think listen, if BG get a sack, man, I think we all gonna go nuts. Everybody should just go live.
It's
when it happens.
I think you guys have a different perspective than us. How nuts is it to you that he would be playing in this game after the torn triceps?
I mean, it's not crazy when you consider BG and how big of a freak he is and how he's played at such a high level for so long. But like objectively, it's wild. But it's the Super Bowl, like this is as good as it gets.
This is the equivalent to when somebody said, "I'll give my left arm to play in the Super Bowl."
Yep.
Yeah.
So he's literally going to do that.
Yeah.
With Jalen Carter,
Yeah.
Beau, he's so dominant now.
Yep.
We were talking to Gerald McCoy yesterday, your other teammate from the Bucks, and he was talking about how he thinks there's still much more to come from Jalen as he understands the game. I actually feel like he's pretty ahead of the game in terms of his knowledge. He sees things really quickly, but how much better do you think he can be?
I think he can be unbelievable. I mean, he is already a very, very good player, and
he's been 90% of the snaps. It's insane,
which is incredible.
He's in shape.
Yeah, his stamina and his effort is really good, but his savvy is something that I've been impressed with. You saw that on the last drive against the Rams. The way he kind of played the game within the game. You set up rushes to early in a game to hit during critical moments, and that's the kind of savvy out of a young player that I appreciate, because I had to do that shit. He's talented enough where he doesn't need to play those kind of games, and he still does, and that's the kind of thing that's going to take him to the next level. He was a really good player. Yeah.
Going over to the other side, obviously they've got some good ones up front as well.
Yeah.
Chris Jones, we talked about.
Yep.
Who else up front would give you concern if you were the Eagles preparing for that front?
Defensively?
Defense for
Kansas
City.
I mean, Chris Jones is kind of the guy. If you're an offensive lineman, you need to know where he's at all times. He'll play inside, he'll play outside on the edge, but I think they have such good cast. But I really think for them it's about Spags. I love Spags, and I think outside of Chris Jones, Spags is so creative with his blitzes. You saw it during critical moments against the Bills in the last 2 weeks ago or whatever, and that's the guy. He's he's just dialing up something, and you're not really sure what it's going to be, when exactly it's going to come. So I think if you're an Eagles offensive lineman, that's what you're kind of tuned in on. Is where is Chris Jones? Who is showing blitz? Are they dropping? Are they coming? Is this same pre-snap presentation going to come back at us later in the game, but it's going to be something else? I think that's something I'm personally looking forward to.
Before I ask you for a prediction, I got to ask you just your favorite Vinny Curry story.
Oh, man, I have so many.
All of a sudden,
you're
on the spot.
I'll never forget. We would be mid-game sometimes, mid-rep, and Vinny would be like, "Yo, can I go? Can I go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go."
We talked about that.
Yes.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
We talked about that on one of the episodes, talking about communication. So I was talking to them,
and sometimes they're like, "No, you can't go. No, don't go."
Yo, there's a play where Nolan is yelling that to Jalen Carter, and he waves him off.
Yeah.
Or he waves him off, and then he gets back and he's like thumbs up.
You're good.
And then run it. Oh my! And it was a sack. And I was like, "Yo, how did you know that?" I said, "I've been in that situation a time or two."
For our viewers, what is it that gives you the green light to make that call?
Okay, so if we're getting really specific, Vinny and I, we play it as obviously a D tackle, 3-tech, whatever. But if we were to the open side, Vinny loves inside moves, right?
Yep.
Which is great, but sometimes you can't take an inside move. But if I was a 2-eye and I knew that the center was sliding away, that means we're on the man side, okay? So that tackle really has to set out, and Vinny can take an inside move, and if he takes it and he hits it, I can cover him, right? So I'll loop around. It's like a natural ET game. But there are times when I know that the center's sliding to me, and then the guard is going to push out to him. So if he takes an inside move, he's going to get hammered by the guard. You know what I mean? So that's when I don't want you to take an inside move. It's you're just going to get fucking tea-kettled by the guard who's setting right out to you. But also every now and then we'd have a blitz on. I'm like, no, you cannot take an inside move. We are away from the blitz, my brother. The quarterback will flush to us. So that's what that is. But it's more about like you said, communication, trusting your teammates. And kind of what I mentioned earlier, we played together for so long, and we had that group where we roll guys through, and we got really comfortable playing with each other, and a lot of different defensive lineman matchups, and that's how you get that kind of comfort, that communication, that familiarity.
Yeah.
I could just tell him. There were times Vinny took an inside move and I'd cover him up, just first of all, bull rushing, so I'm ready for it.
You two guys both very familiar with doing the unrecognized dirty work that makes the whole defensive line.
You have no idea.
Right?
I'm the one that's going to test the temperature of Jim.
Yeah.
I'm going to do something. He's either going to come over here, storm over here, or he's going to say,
you take it, you got to make it.
Yeah, that's exactly what he say. Yo, okay.
Okay.
Take it, but you better make it. I'm like,
make it.
woo! woo, and then that'll bring everybody. Now everybody want to try to do something, but you know, Beau always kept that thing in check. Beau not gonna tell y'all this. Beau was like overly prepared. His notes.
I was a white D lineman, bro.
Yo, his notes was like impeccable. Yo, I mean, it was, like I thought I had good notes on it. Then when we get to like the little closer to the game, I'm like, Beau, can I see your notebook? I just wanted, just in case you missed something.
We were in Tampa.
Plagiarism
We
going on.
had a bad defense. We got like people don't understand. You think football players, D linemen especially, are just like, hey, go out there, get in your gap. We have advanced football calls with a million different checks, and we do a lot of meetings. Okay, you guys are in the media, you're around football, you understand, but like a casual, football fan doesn't understand the hours of film study and preparation and meetings that we go through on a daily basis. And we used to get tested every week on the playbook. And in Tampa, like, we got to a point where we were getting tested with these lengthy tests that were honestly too much. And like, I used to help Vinny cheat a little bit. It's funny. It's just funny to think about professional football players taking these tests before a football game,
right?
And just like cheating on them.
You guys gotta understand. So when we was down there, I used to be sitting there so like pissed, bro, just pissed because I'm like, man. Jim, we won't be doing this like if the Jim like, and then
our D coordinator got fired after 4 games, so it was a tough year for us.
Bro, so then you still had to take a test.
The professor already failed. Why are we still taking
exactly?
it?
It's like our TA is giving
crazy,
us
bro. So I was more so like I just was sitting there with an attitude or just being really mad, and at the same time, in a fresh breath of air, it goes to show you that damn, I got to get back to Philly, bro.
And then you left me, bro.
And we went nuts. We went to playoffs.
Yeah, without me.
All right, Beau, we got to let you get going. The Green Light podcast, I imagine all our listeners already know that. Beau Allen, quick prediction. What do you got?
I'd say like 72-0 Birds.
Good call. Why not?
Yeah.
Like that?
Why not?
No, I'll say realistically, I like 28-18 Eagles.
18.
Nah, 24-18.
Okay.
Low scoring game.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Beau Allen, thank you so much.
Thanks for
we
having
will
me.
bring in our man,
having
Zach
me.
Berman, in a second here. Good stuff going on. It's a crazy day. Radio Realm. All the stuff is going. We are going to hear later from Malcolm Jenkins as the 2017 Super Bowl reunion continues. We have a lot going on. We're going to just sort of see how this all works. Zach, come on in. Take a seat, my friend. Julia, how are we doing on Malcolm? We'll be ready with that in a sec. All right. Why don't we take a quick break now to talk about our sponsors, and then on the other side we'll talk to Zach Berman, and then we'll talk to Malcolm Jenkins and make it all roll. What's my read? What's my read? The Wi-Fi here is terrible. It's Radio Row. You got all these media companies. The one thing that anybody wants is working Wi-Fi, and we can't get it.
It's not good.
It's not good. And my ace? Bet365. Of course, it's never ordinary. Nope. Ace. Oh, Ace. Our friends at Ace. At Ace Hardware Home Services, whenever they get ready for the next job, they remember what to bring. They bring 3 things. They bring experience. Local plumbers and techs who handle everything from repairs and seasonal maintenance to installations and upgrades. They bring understanding. They listen to your goals, and the job isn't completed until you're satisfied, and they bring helpful to your home so you can spend more of your time on the projects that really matter. Visit Ace Hardware Home Services online at www.acehardwarehomeservices.com to get started on your next project. Fran, do you know what we're doing?
I do. Julia gave me the heads up. All right, so we are going to hear from our friends at Game Time. And look, game day is almost here. This is the last football game of the 2024 season. So if you want to get down here to New Orleans, to the Big Easy for this game at the Superdome, now's the time. You want to try and get on Game Time, and you're going to get the best deals. You have the lowest price guarantee. You get the seat views, all the features that we've talked about all season long over on Game Time. The Game Time ticket coverage, your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time, and your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. And again, they will credit you 100%, 110% of the difference on that lowest price guarantee. So as we get closer to kickoff, those ticket prices are going to start to inch down. It's happened over the course of the week. So if you think you can get down here to New Orleans, now is the time. Jump on Game Time, score those tickets, and you can get into the game, see the Eagles take on the Chiefs. We'll see if they win 72-0 like Beau Allen thinks. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. What time is it? It's Game Time.
Zach Berman, how the hell are you?
Thrilled to be on. What's going on?
Good to see you. What have you been up to?
I was watching the interview with Beau Allen.
Well, all day long today,
Oh, okay,
Zach.
yeah,
What have you been doing today?
Yeah, so today I was with the Kansas City Chiefs this morning. I had a chance to catch up with our old friend Carson Wentz, or Vinny's old friend Carson Wentz. It was good to see Carson. He said, we used to do this every week. I said, that is true, and I think I missed it more than he does, to be honest with you. And then was with the Eagles and
What was Carson's? What did he say?
It's interesting because he was he acknowledged that the history. He can't go back and change it. He said this is an interesting line. He said there's a difference between having peace and being at peace with something, right? And so he's like, okay. He talked a lot about his faith. There was a good question from Les Bowen, who's contributing from PHLY, who will be on the show in a little bit. Who Les asked him, do you ever think what would have happened in your career if Clowney didn't hit you? And he said he doesn't like to go back in time thinking about that. He trusts that there's a plan, things of that nature. I did say to him because the injuries kept coming up, and I said the injuries were out of your control, but you did think you needed a fresh start. Do you look back and say, was a fresh start actually necessary for you? And he said, what do you mean by that? And I said, well, I reworded the question. And he kind of said that it's in the past, it was the right thing at the time. He talked a lot about how a lot of the guys on the team he doesn't know anymore, right? This current team. Yeah. So he's already played against the Eagles, so it's not like he's getting revenge against the Eagles. Right. But he talked about that 2017 team, the bonds that you guys all have, and he still feels that way, and how that was a special season. So there was a lot there. I actually think Les is going to write about it for allphly.com. And then you talked to the Eagles, and we'll hear from Vinny because he had a fun time there as well. But who did you focus on there? So my big focus after Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts was Kevin Patullo, because I'm expecting Kevin Patullo to become the next offensive coordinator with the Eagles. Kevin's not someone we get to speak to on a regular basis, so I really wanted to get to know him a little bit better. And one thing that he made clear, and I think this is important for Eagles fans, is that he's not just like an extension of Sirianni. That if he becomes the play caller here, he's his own person, and he disagrees a lot with Nick. And he can see why there's that perception from the outside, but he had this whole football career before he linked up with Nick, that he has strong opinions on this, that he's worked closely with Kellen Moore this year, melding concepts together, and that he would be like his own person if he were to become an offensive coordinator. Interesting. And then catching up with Jeff Stoutland and Joe Casper, I really tried to focus on some of the assistants we don't get to see on a day-to-day basis. How about you, Vinny? You were all over the place.
Oh,
we're gonna see the fruits of this labor, but how was it for you? It's going to go crazy. I think the fans, the surprise that we have, I think the fans is going to love. If you got a certain someone to say a certain something. Yeah. One word, maybe. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think they're really going to like the interviews I have. I mean, I don't talk to McKee. I don't talk to Saquon. I don't talk to Josh Sweat. The list go on and on and on. Nolan. Oh man, I probably talked about 13, 14 players, man. It was just
just to see them focus though. But you could honestly see the determination inside their eyes. Like, yo, they couldn't wait to get to practice because they're like, all right, we over the media stuff now.
That's a good observation.
Let's get this thing going.
And Fran, how are you feeling? Is there any iciness between you and Zach, given what happened on the Birds with Friends reunion show yesterday?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Dane Brugler thing? No. That means
Zach's favorite draft analyst, as you know.
No, I literally answered the question. I'm not doing this.
Truthfully.
I'm not doing this. Yeah.
Look, give him a break.
Yeah.
He had a lot of salt yesterday for lunch, and by the time he got to that point in the night, all he could say was Dane Brugler. It's okay.
And we also got to catch up with Beau's favorite player, Taylor McKee.
Woo!
Oh, how'd that go?
No, he did.
You did.
I'm looking forward to it.
Did you?
I told him. Yeah, I told him. He was like, for real?
You also, Vinny, if Zach needs his mood to be lifted up right now, if he needs something to make him happy, I think you have
got some meta glasses,
something.
you know? Some meta glasses.
Those.
Yeah, man, these things is nice.
No, I need to look those up on Amazon.
Man, I'm telling you.
You want to let him try them on?
Yeah, try them on.
You know what?
God, look at
Are
the
they
smile. He's
prescription
like
lens?
a little.
No.
No?
So when you walk outside, it turns dark. The lens turn dark like it's a whoa.
Oh, what a dream come true.
Yeah.
So how does it take
Clark
pictures?
Kent over
You just hit
here.
it right here. Hit this button here.
Oh, wow.
Right? Boom. That's it. Right on top.
Emily, if you're watching,
Right
my
top.
birthday's coming up in March.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Yeah.
How about
Wow.
that? This is impressive. That's
Yeah.
cool. How do they
Dream come
look?
true.
Oh, it's
What a dream
8K.
come true.
Let's see how's it look. It's 8K.
Goes right to the phone.
Oh,
Boom.
man. Look at
So
that.
this is when we walked in. Look how clear that thing is.
Wow. That would have been so helpful talking to Carson today. Yeah.
And I brought them specifically
Yeah.
for you.
know
I
what?
said if you needed to use them.
I thought they were like prescription
No.
glasses.
When you walk
Okay.
outside, the lenses turn dark.
Okay. So they're like sunglasses when you're outside.
Yep.
Man, that is technology right there. I love it. That's great.
So then I said, just a matter of time before they start putting this on the quarterback's visors and helmets.
Yeah.
So the coach could see what they was
right.
looking at. Watch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I need to go patent that.
We get Noah Curry to practice in them.
Yeah. Oh. So if you're watching Ray-Bans, Meta. No Curry.
Let's get a little NIL.
Yeah.
Make it worth his while.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
You got to look up the Jaden Daniels virtual reality stuff he was doing at LSU.
Dude, I saw that.
That's.
I saw
got
that.
him ready. Got him ready.
Come on, boy. We need to call somebody that knows somebody.
I don't think that's in my Rolodex. All right, we did talk to Malcolm Jenkins earlier,
yes.
and so this is going to be our this is our locker room report presented by TrueMark Financial. The locker room report is presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union. We talked to Malcolm Jenkins, one of the heroes of Super Bowl. What number was it?
52?
52. Super Bowl 52. Obviously, Vinny Curry's teammate. Let's take a look at that right now. All right, we are back on Radio Row, and we have not only Super Bowl champion Vinny Curry, but his Super Bowl teammate Malcolm Jenkins, and this is Eagles in New Orleans. Feels like the specifically Malcolm Jenkins Super Bowl.
Yes,
it aligns for sure. I live in both cities. Obviously, play for both teams. So yeah, to be able to watch, the Eagles come to New Orleans.
What is it like when you see the guys from that team together?
I'd be ecstatic. I'd be so happy, man. You know, everybody know how much Malcolm meant to that team. It was like the heart and soul of the whole entire team, especially that defense, man. And dang, man, it's a blessing in a brotherhood that just can't be broken.
Yeah, and it's special. We all understand what those moments meant to the city. Even if in those moments we were so focused that we didn't really understand the impact. I think as the years go by and every Super Bowl that happens, you see the same stuff. Happy anniversary. And you start to really understand how special that season was and cherish, obviously, not only the journey but the relationships you had along the way.
Now, I think our listeners will also want to make sure that I ask you about the foreword that you wrote for Zach's book here. I mean, we've got all kinds of connections on this table.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, Zach's been awesome. He's obviously somebody who's followed the team a great deal. Has been a great ally to me in the media. Somebody I always enjoy talking to. So
Appreciate that.
we want to go through, the Eagles' history and point out the people who made special contributions, those leaders, those staff members. One, to be in the book, I was honored, but to be approached to be able to write the foreword and kind of, give people what to expect as they open it up was definitely something I enjoyed doing.
I appreciate that. I've said this to Malcolm, and I've said this on the air, but whenever I do these book speeches and this comes up, I say you're not allowed to have favorites, although Vinny was great on the cover, but there's no one that I respected more during my 13 years covering the team than Malcolm. Like in terms of the way he comported himself. But Vinny's awesome. He's my coworker now.
Listen.
He's my coworker.
I get it. Yo, man, the man carried himself, man. When he walked in, it was like an air behind him. You know what I mean? It was like a businessman. Like at all times, you know, what you saw is what you got. You know, so I definitely get it. No offense taken.
And we know that in the book that you wrote, you asked Tom Brady to write that forward, and so. Yeah. Let's spin this game forward like 15 years. Who's going to be the Malcolm Jenkins on this team if they win? Who gets Patrick Mahomes to write the forward to their book, in 15 years? Who's going to make that play?
Ooh.
Who's going to say, come on, Pat, when he drops a pass to him?
It's either going to be, I think, Zach Bond.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, I like that
I think Zach Bond. I think his story this year
I'm very curious about your perspective.
Because I was with Zach in New Orleans, so I got to see, him just kind of work really as a special teams guy. He's learning from veterans like myself, Demario Davis, and to finally kind of get his shot and to have the year that he had is crazy. So to culminate that, and I fully anticipate him making some game-changing plays. And if he becomes a significant reason why the Eagles win another Super Bowl, I cannot wait to hear that story and understand that book.
I'm so curious about the perspective of his Saints teammates who didn't even get to see him play this position.
Yes.
And then to go have this year. And we've talked about, there's a similarity to Saquon Barkley, who, didn't get to show his full self with the Giants. And you were a guy who's moved around. It feels like this team specifically has a lot of guys who – because of this situation, have been able to show just how good they can be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a testament to Howie, because I think if you look back to our team, it was the same thing with myself, with Darren Sproles, with Ghost. It's a bunch of guys who had success other places, but really thrived when they got to this locker room. And then for me, it was them believing in me to be able to play the positions that I wanted to play, to have the role that I wanted. And my time in Philly, took off compared to what I had in New Orleans that first stint. And I think that's a testament to, people with vision, people that have a culture and know how to develop players.
I'm going to cede the floor to Vinny so you guys can I guess, reconnect here. But to follow up on Zach Bond, I did want to ask you real quick about C.J. Gardner-Johnson, someone who you were close with. You've seen him leave in a contentious way. Now he returned. He's a key part of the team. What insight do you have on CJ's career and the season he's having?
Yeah, I think the one thing that it was a lot. For one, he's like my little bro. He was when we were in New Orleans. When I first signed with New Orleans, he hit me up and wanted to pick my brain and work out, and it was the same way every single day. Took notes. He followed me. He was on my coattail. I gave him everything that I had. And so to see him kind of make it his own now, even with all of the business parts of the game, to have to leave, to get injured, and then still have enough wherewithal to come back and respect to be able to handle business and kind of put your ego out of the way. And really his development as a leader on this team, the stabilizer, I think, of that defense, or at least the back end of it, somebody who's consistently making plays, who's bringing energy. You need that type of guy in your locker room. And that's who I tried to be for my locker room, was that the person who, can get you riled up, but also the player who's super prepared and understands the game of football. And I think that's one thing that I am most proud of is the intellectual part of the game that's developed for him. He's way smarter than people give him credit for. If you watch the plays that he makes, a lot of the times he might look like he's blitzing, but he's anticipating the play. He's reading his keys. That's all mental preparation. You can't play the safety position at a high level without being a smart player. And even his trash talking, we kind of label it like he's kind of this out-of-control person, but he rarely gets penalties, and he knows how to get into the opponent's head. It's very intellectual and intentional with the way that he plays the game. And so he's somebody that, I'm – regardless of where he is, I'm super proud of, just because I've seen the maturation, the hunger, and his true desire to be great. And it's fun to watch him doing the Eagles green.
Vinny, what are your favorite Malcolm memories? And then Malcolm, what are your favorite Vinny memories?
My favorite memory is go back 7 years ago. I'm running to the ball. I'm like, damn, Cooks caught that. Running to the ball, and I remember somebody passing my face on you, and I turned my head for one split second. I heard was bow. Damn, what was that?
Set the tone.
Yo, and I just remember everybody losing their mind out there. That was first of all, that was a hell of a hustle play, and second of all, that was a way to set the tone.
We needed to get Cooks out of the game. He was too fast. We got to get him going.
I was like, whoa! I think that was just one right there. It's like it go to the beginning of the conversation when you talk about that leadership role and what he meant to the team, and for him to make that play, I think that calmed everybody's nerves down. It was like, oh yeah, we got this. Like let's get it. Like this ain't nothing that we ain't used to or things like that. But that hit was more impactful for the team than that's talked about.
What about you, Malcolm? What's your favorite Vinny memory?
My favorite part about Vinny was, so before I got there, he was really the guy in the middle of the huddle before the games. And so, when I kind of started making speeches, he was always the person that gave me the energy back. Like if you're ever speaking in front of a crowd, you got to find one or two people that are giving you the affirmation to make sure, what you're saying is hitting. And Vinny was always that person. He's the hype man. Like he's repeating the stuff I'm saying. He's giving it back to me. So that always helped me because it's hard to come up with a new speech every single week and it be impactful. Right. But yeah, Vinny's always somebody who came with the energy.
So let me ask this then to both of you. All we got, all we need. What's the origin here?
V-Dot.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that came from him.
Zach didn't know that.
Not many people know that. That came from Vinny.
Until recently. I credited Malcolm, and then Vinny said, no, that's
Vinny almost threw him off the table.
Granted, that's not hard to do.
No. Come on, man. Nah. But that was like one of the things that, because it was, when you talk about meeting, you talk about brotherhood and ignore the noise, that was one of the things that, that we just always wore, or, that chip on our shoulders, I guess you labeled the underdogs, but we top dog, and that's how, that was just kind of how we really felt.
When it comes to ignoring the noise, and you talk about the hit on Cooks, your guys' perspective on what this week is like. There's 2 weeks between the NFC Championship game. You got to deal with all the other stuff. You're going up against a potentially dynastic team, the best quarterback in football. The parallels are there from 2017 to this team. How long does it take to sort of get your focus flipped to the task at hand, the game?
So I think it's like we talk about that hit change, like being a game statement, a game like common. They got to get that running game going. Saquon get going early. I think that right there is going to slow their blitz down, number one, because when you blitz and don't hit home, you create another lane. Michael, what do you think?
Now, I think, honestly, it starts today. Like, today's Wednesday, right? So they did the media yesterday. It's all the craziness you got to go through. It's the biggest media day of the year. But when they wake up today, it's first and second down. You got to try to get it back to, if this was week 1 of the season, Wednesday would be first, second down, and we're going through our install. The sooner you can get back into that normal routine, then you can ignore all of the other things. But because if you're still worrying about tickets and family and all of the things that are going on in this Wednesday, then you're already messing up your preparation. And I know for me, I took the first part of the week, that Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, to enjoy all of it. But once Wednesday morning hit, it's the same as you knew me on as we were back in Philly. And I think that's what leaders need to do, is make this as normal as possible for guys who've never been here. You don't want to make it something that it's not. It's like, because when it kicks off, the ball's the same size, the rules are the same, the field's the exact same. There's nothing new about the game. It's just what we make of it. And so I'm trying to, best I can as a leader, make it nothing.
Yeah.
We had Brandon Brooks in studio back in March, and he spoke poignantly about like what it's like to win a Super Bowl in Philly, that it follows you the rest of your life, that no matter where he goes now, there's people who still come up to him about winning a Super Bowl. What perspective do both of you guys have about like the long-term resonance of winning a Super Bowl in Philadelphia?
I'm gonna stick this quote from Doug. It became a new norm.
Yeah.
Look, we're here today for Philadelphia Super Bowl. 2 years ago, Philadelphia Super Bowl. No matter where you go now, it's either Super Bowl or bust every year. From amongst Eagle fans.
There will never be another first.
Yeah.
You guys will always be the first.
So it's kind of like that. Kind of was the height of everything, and watching everything come together, and watching this team really transform a new Philadelphia culture that became the new norm.
Yeah, it's as if we fed the starving city,
Yeah.
right? Like we're the ones who did it. We met the expectation, we met the desire, and I think like I said earlier, the further and further we get away from that moment, I think the larger that moment gets, because you realize that it's not very easy. When I won my very first year in the NFL, I won a Super Bowl in this city, in New Orleans, and I remember thinking, "Oh, this is going to be easy. I'll be back every year."
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until 9 years later that I was able to go back and really understand how significant that is, one, to me as a player, but more specifically to a city, especially one with as much history as this team, with as much passion as this city, and as many close calls as they've had in the past. To really be able to be the ones to bring that home has meant the world to the many people that I've seen, and it's definitely not slowing down. It's not something that's going away over time. It's only amplified and become more special.
We'll let you get going in a sec. I got two quick ones for you. Prediction on the game, and then for Eagles fans coming down to New Orleans, where do they have to go?
Yeah, so one of my favorite spots is a place called Vion's. It's it's not on Chapatoulas, it's right off Chapatoulas, right in the warehouse district. Really good spot. She's a phenomenal chef.
Okay.
Really cool place. But my predictions for the game, I don't really do scores. I just want the Eagles to win. I think Saquon Barkley is the MVP. And I think Zach Bond makes some life-changing plays.
Go ahead, pitch that bad boy.
I want to make
yeah.
sure we spoke about my book. This is the
There
book
you go.
we should be talking about right now.
Oh,
We
yeah.
need to get a copy to AJ.
I know, yeah. He need to read it
Can
on,
you read that on
get
the
it on the
sideline?
sideline and make it go
Yeah.
crazy like the other one. But, yeah, What Winners Won't Tell You, Lessons from a Legendary Defender, if it's on audio, on Audible 2, I go through that whole Super Bowl run and talk about the ins and outs, my journey in the league, all the things I've learned about winning, about being successful, the trials and tribulations, but really a lot of memories going down memory lanes, the games, the situations, a lot of insight that you might not have known about that last Super Bowl team, all in this book. I had a great time writing it. It's super vulnerable. That's why my shirt is off, not just because I'm in good shape. It's because it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
And he can write. Like it was kind of like annoying. I remember talking to Beau. Beau's like, "What'd you do today?" I said, "I read Malcolm's book." He said, "What'd you think?" I was like, "He doesn't just play football. He's not just a businessman. He can write." Like, come on.
Definitely a better writer than you are a football player.
I actually wrote that. That is true. Yes.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, Malcolm Jenkins, thank you so much.
appreciate
We look
you,
forward
Mal.
to catching up down the line, and we will be back with more on PHLY. All right, good stuff from Malcolm Jenkins, and we continue to shuffle around the pieces here on the PHLY Eagles desk. We've got Les Bowen joining us, along with Vinny and Zach. Les, how you doing? Good
I'm
to see
doing
you.
great, Beau. Good to be seen.
Now, before you got on, Zach was telling us a little bit about what he heard from Carson Wentz, but I know you talked to him more, and also some of his teammates. What is your perspective on him entering this game?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, Carson Wentz is back at the Super Bowl, but once again, he's not going to play.
Yeah.
Unless Patrick Mahomes gets hurt.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know, but
No,
I'm aware. But it's to me, it's a fascinating. I mean, he had to be hoping that the Eagles didn't make it to the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, because he would every day people ask him
Right.
about this, and to go into the whole deal.
It's an
again.
annoyance, I would imagine.
And then I was thinking about this. I was thinking, well, he was probably pulling for Washington in the NFC. Wait a minute. No, he wouldn't be. No, he wouldn't want that either. No, that wouldn't be good. So, I think bottom line is he said a couple interesting things. There's been several stories written about that this week, and how he's, he puts his life in the hands of God and all that, But someone said today, someone asked him if he was at peace, and he said, "I have peace, but I'm still a competitor." And that's a little different than saying, "Oh, everything's fine. I'll
Right.
just sit here and, just make my money and not ever play again." I think he would very much like, even though he's older, to be like a Baker Mayfield or a Sam Darnold
get a
and get a
shot,
chance somewhere. At this point, it's going to be a team that doesn't really expect him to be
a bridge
the long-term quarterback, but then he can get in there and change their mind, and maybe.
It's probably not going to happen in Kansas City.
No, I don't think so. Probably not.
Vinny, what's your perspective on Carson Wentz?
I want to hear this.
Man,
Yes.
oh man, I think for a fresh start, reset button. He already had a couple fresh starts, so I would say reset button. I think going to Big Red was I think that's one of the best decisions he could have made.
How about as a teammate back in 2017?
We was cool. Me and Carson was cool. He studied hard. He worked hard. He won some football games for us.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, that's all right in my book. As long as we keep winning.
There's the framing that some people inside the building made that, in 2017 it was not Carson's team, right? That the leaders of that team were the veterans who had been there for a while, like you, and eventually they wanted him to become the leader. Did you feel that during your time there?
Oh, it's man. That expression is. I would say at that point in time, that's a hard task.
Yeah.
There's a lot of personalities in the locker room. I think him coming from small town, to the big stage, the bright lights, the big city, the passionate fans, passionate people around. I just think that the way that ended, I think all of us wish they could have did something a little different. But it's crazy now because it's like we were talking about off the air. Like I think Zach had a great question to him. When he asked him, "Do you think if Clowney doesn't make that hit, do you think your career changes?" Yeah. Okay, now I want everybody to understand something. Clowney don't make that hit, we're going in to score.
Yeah.
We win.
Yeah.
You think so?
We were winning.
It was early in the game, but yeah.
Yo, bro, they couldn't
and that
do
was
nothing.
That was not a great Seattle
Let me
team.
tell you,
dude.
It wasn't a great Eagles team. Those wide receivers.
Who was in the playoffs? Second week. What?
Wasn't the final score like 14-3 or something?
Yeah, but I mean,
It was like 9-3, 12-3. It was something crazy. But you got to understand something. We win that game, whether you want to say it wasn't a great Eagle team or not. We move on to the next round.
Sure.
Yeah, and the
You know
whole
what I
thing
mean?
looks different.
That's Big Bob Davis and Deontay Burnett, right?
Yeah.
So now, but there's no. So that's when it's for the when you gear up for the next season, it's like, yo, my man, we gotta get another guy that's going to be super, super reliable just in case we get in this situation again.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
What I mean?
Well, my opinion would be that things started to go bad, obviously, with the Super Bowl for Carson. And I know some former teammates have been very, very critical of that it was a weird thing for him to sit there and watch Nick Foles win the Super Bowl. But really, let's be real. If you got hurt and the guy that took over for you had 10 sacks in the Super Bowl and the whole city was like, oh, this guy is our guy now, would you be all, this is the most wonderful thing that ever happened?
So Les, you got to understand something. I'm very biased when it comes to Nick Foles.
Yeah. He's a great guy. Yeah, I'm not saying anything against Nick.
I am super biased. Like, remember, I seen my man throw 7 TDs.
Yes, at Oakland. I remember. I was there.
Wow.
Yes.
I see my man get thrown in the fire as a rookie when Mike went down.
Yeah.
And come out on top.
Yeah.
So we're in the locker room. Were there Carson guys and Nick guys?
No, I think it was a perfect match together. They're different personalities.
Yeah, right.
Way different, right? Different personalities, but I also think, like he said, it's a thing of being at peace and still being a competitor.
Right.
Now, I will say the competitive edge of having both of them in that quarterback room.
Yeah.
Now, I would like to be a fly on that wall in there.
Yeah.
You and me both.
Yeah. So I will also say that knowing Nick Foles is a competitor too, as well.
Right.
Right. And he even kill all the time. He on one thing about Nick, you're not gonna see him his emotion rattle, shatter, anything. He's gonna even kill.
And I don't think Carson was like that. I think seeing the success Nick had,
he wears emotions
unsettled
on
him a little bit. He had to get back from that knee injury and take the job back and get everybody to follow him. And then the next few years didn't go great. Part of it was him. Part of it was the receiver core went way down, and the rest of the team went way down around him. And then you got to where they drafted Hurts, and I think that really messed him up. And it shouldn't have. I mean, you have to be – that's how football is. You have to be able to handle stuff like that. But I really think Hurts – I don't think he expected that to happen, and I think that was the end for him. And then the next two chances he had to start, Indianapolis looked like a great situation at the time. he kind of screwed that up. But also, if you look at the Indianapolis organization at this point, several years later, is it what we thought it was when in 2020, or was there a lot wrong there beyond Carson Wentz? He goes to the Commanders, and Ron Rivera's final, go-round, he didn't win there, but who was going to win there right then?
Jaden Daniels,
So I don't know. I don't know that he could succeed if he got another shot, but I would love to see it just to know. Because I'm not sure that he couldn't.
So 17 we won the Super Bowl, 18 it will make the playoffs, 19 will make the playoffs.
Yeah.
20 is the COVID year, which stuff started getting a little fishy. And now Jalen's here, so kind of made the playoffs almost each time. So that was like one of those things.
Yeah, but he wanted out. That's the thing. He wanted out.
So I was just getting ready to say that.
I'm sorry.
No, Zach, you're on the right track. But I just wanted to say, when you was like, it's like this team or a bad team, the playoffs is the playoffs. It's hard to get to punch a ticket, period.
Right.
So, but when that's going on, and then you say you want out, I think that's when everybody's like, what? Like, hold up.
Right.
I think that's when you get a lot of pullback because guys are putting out their blood, sweat, and tears.
Right.
Right. And I think you get the pullback, and then Jalen comes in, and first-handedly.
In the locker room, I always like to say that the players know. Right?
Yeah.
In that locker room in 2020, were you guys intrigued by what you saw from Jalen in practice?
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. So now Jalen comes in, and this dude was having practice after practice. Oh.
Yeah.
That starts a little.
Right.
Yeah.
Boom. Then we go down.
I love when the players are like that.
Yeah. So now you go down to Lambeau.
Yes.
Where the draft is at this year. Comes out. I remember just sitting there and I'm like, damn, Carson not in the game. Oh, Jalen in. Right. And we talking. The defense is talking because everything is going. But we driving. Oh.
Yes.
If anybody could go back to that clip, though, everybody get up off the bench and start walking towards it.
Yeah. That was the end. That was it. I remember I called time of death on Carson Wentz.
That moment was deep. Aaron Rodgers on the other side and Jalen start boom.
And I think Carson realized that. I think he saw that too and thought, well.
And then you sit next to everybody's reaction.
Yeah. I mean, look, when the Eagles gave him $127 million as Howie Roseman liked to say, they showed him with their actions what they thought of him. But if you're at a place for a role and you feel like your role's being diminished in some way, like
how much was it?
127.
There's 127 reasons to be at peace.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I would just say, I think the narrative that has hardened since he left is that he was great in 2017 and he never played well again. And that's not really true.
He played well in 2019.
Yeah, I was just going to say, 2019 became the first Eagles quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards in the history of the franchise.
With no receivers.
With no receivers. Throwing to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. You'd kind of take that.
Playoffs.
Most years.
Playoffs.
Yeah. The team wasn't as good. And people, conflate that with the quarterback a lot, but Les, you gotta understand the people was also seeing the guy they drafted in the second round. It was some riffs and raps now for the guy to reach his second Super Bowl in 3 years. Oh, I know,
that's hard. That's not, but if I'm sitting at the podium like this too.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be very, very awkward for him.
Yeah,
all right, we got to take a quick break. We'll be back with more on the other side after hearing from our sponsors. You know what that applause is for? It's for Bet365, because Bet365 has 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA, NFL, NHL, and MLB. Bet365 pioneer live in-game betting, and today they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. Now is the time to open a new account. You're going to want to do it for the Super Bowl. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5 win or lose. Sign up Use the code PHLY365, deposit $10, and place a bet for $5 to get $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. At Bet365, must be 21 or older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I want to tell everyone about TrueMark Financial Credit Union, okay? Because maybe you have a Super Bowl party or Valentine's Day coming up and you're spending a lot and your credit card balance is weighing you down. Think about this. What if you could pay it off faster and with zero interest until 2026? It's true, because TrueMark Financial is offering zero interest on balance transfers for 12 months. So all your payments can go toward reducing your balance, not just covering interest. Here's the play. Transfer your existing balance from another institution to a TrueMark Financial Visa credit card and take advantage of this amazing offer. But hurry, you have to apply by February 28, 2025. Whether you're interested in rewards, cash back, or simply prefer a low rate for everyday purchases with TrueMark Financial, you can choose the credit card that best fits your financial need. Visit TrueMark.com/compare for full details and apply today. TrueMark Financial, federally insured by the NCUA, equal opportunity lender. Terms and conditions apply. All loans subject to approval. 3% balance transfer for fees apply. Standard rates apply after the promotional rate.
All right, now, Vinny, you're going to be saying goodbye to us later today. You're flying home today. When this show's over, we're going to try to get a few more pieces of content for the good people. But last time on the live show, I got to ask you how you're leaning in this game, your prediction, and this is going to be the Game Ball presented by Xfinity Mobile. Game Brawl is proudly brought to you. I said Game Paul is proudly brought to you. It's too much talking, and it's only Wednesday. We're not. I think this is the halfway point of our shows. The Game Ball, not the Gabe Hall. The Game Ball is proudly brought to you by our friends at Xfinity Mobile. Join the millions who have switched to one of the fastest-growing mobile services. Vinny, how you see this game going? Who's going to be Super Bowl MVP?
I got the Eagles winning. 35-20.
35-20. Yeah. Putting up a bunch of points.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I like that. A high-scoring affair. Who's going to be Super Bowl MVP?
Super Bowl MVP with drum roll, please. Saquon!
As if there ever was a doubt.
What's your experience been like this week?
Man, it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome, man. To see it from this lens, it's been awesome. You don't really realize how much work you guys put in. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
You know.
Yeah, well, Zach, I want you to listen to this.
Like the chase downs, players having a little don't want to fake talking.
Yeah.
I kind of felt like Suge Knight for a second. You're my man. Whoa. Yeah. You know what I mean? But just the appreciation.
Hanging Nolan Smith's off the balcony, holding him by his shoes.
No, man. Nolan's the man. He's the man. But it was just crazy, though, man.
You know what? I feel this. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I always feel like I know I'm bothering you. I don't want to bother you.
Right.
But, like, we both have a job to do. I get, like, if I'm trying to ask for an interview from somebody, I don't want to text them to bother them. Like, they don't want to do this. But I got a job to do, right?
I also seen another fella, like, other interviewers, like, okay, do an interview and it's done. It's like, all right, can you stand up? I want to act like I'm pass rushing you. Like, yo, my man, come on. Like, some people going overboard with the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that was crazy to hear. Yeah. I love that. I was like, man, I wanted to say something, and I just, whoa, you in the middle. You can't. Yeah. Like, yo, you can't do that. But just wanted to applaud, like, you guys were doing. Like, we just sit back. And even being on this side, to have tough conversations and be okay with having tough conversations or taking constructive criticism the way you see it from your point of view, which could be very persuasive, so just being on that and everything, that's what this week's been about. And to learn that, probably 75 to 85% of the team listen to the podcast.
Really?
How about that? Yeah.
Huge.
Thanks to Vinny.
I am shocked.
And Beau, yeah.
Let's don't be a hater.
Well, I can say Vinny's been awesome. Like, the stuff this week has shown why he's a rising star in this business, and we're thrilled that he's here at PHLY.
Indeed.
So that's been
and you've also seen, like, a lot of examples of just how much you mean to these people.
Oh man, it's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood, and to see some even some pairs that I never had the chance opportunity to play with them.
Yeah.
But the respect level is so there, just to see them walking around and everybody just mingling and stuff like that. That's pretty cool sight to see.
I am curious, when you're playing in this game, do you realize all of this exists?
No.
Right, yeah, because you're in your hotel,
Yeah.
you go down there for the interviews, you have them, but do you realize the entire infrastructure that's kind of around the Super Bowl?
Nah, nope. The Eagles do a great job of really. After today, that y'all seeing at the round tables is over. You probably won't hear, see, post, none. Everybody is back into.
Well, gratefully for Zach, they do have one more tomorrow.
One more day.
One more tomorrow. But then after that, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
After that. And
Friday and Saturday.
Well, not everybody, though.
No, yeah.
It is, I think, tomorrow, yeah.
Everybody?
Everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That must be only quarterbacks and coach.
That might be right.
Yeah,
do they have
see,
another press conference tomorrow, Zach? Quarterback and coach?
Well, actually, Jalen does the full thing tomorrow. So there's the coach, and then there's another player does the press conference. It'd probably be like Saquon or someone like that.
Yeah,
so
but not the team.
But no,
Yeah,
but then
the
the entire
tables
team
with the
does
team
the tables
after
just
that.
like today.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And Jalen has to do one of those risers tomorrow for the entire hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's tough. He's not going to like that.
He did it 2 years. He turned it on. But yeah.
All the years that I've gone to the Super Bowl with different teams, I always feel bad. I'm walking around that little ballroom and they got the tables, and there's the guys from the practice squad sitting there like, nobody. I feel like I should look something up about this guy so I can ask him a question. I just feel so bad,
I think that should be. I think that should be a story.
Yeah.
How the practice squad they roll into this team's success of getting to where they are right now.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Zach has asked about some under the radar guys, right? Who have
but
who have done
just
that, right?
think about how I think the families of some of those guys will really truly appreciate that, especially when their parent go to work or let me tell you about my son.
Well,
my baby.
no, but speaking about that, I am curious, because this is the last time we have you. Can you give insight into what these next few days are like for a player in the Super Bowl? When does the families come in? Because I heard you talking to Slay saying, the families come in later in the week.
Yeah.
So once the practice weekend's Friday,
Right.
there's the walkthrough Saturday. But what is there for the players beyond that when everyone comes in and descends on the town?
Oh man, so you get some people who bring their family in early, but most likely the families will come in probably Thursday or Friday because the Eagles have a welcoming party.
Yep.
Which is always nice, kind of like a meat and potatoes deal of just Mr. Lloyd does a great job of welcoming and thanking everyone for being a part of the organization, from the families, from the front office all the way to the janitor, whoever he bung on the trip.
That's great.
So, and then Saturday, you know what it is. You got to ignore everybody, and it's go time Sunday.
Now I want to ask you this too, because Sunday, win or lose, there's a party, right? So now you only had the winning experience, so you can't give the perspective of the losing party. But there's that big party that the team plans, win or lose. What's the Super Bowl party like for the winning team?
It's crazy. I actually have a clip on my phone. Remember, nobody really. I don't think you guys probably knew this. Do you know the stage almost almost broke?
Oh, I think I did hear that. Yeah.
And I have been having it on my phone, and they had the glasses, but we had the GoPro, and I'm like, whoa. I'm like, let me get off of this, But I think everyone was so excited. It just was cold as hell, man. But everybody found their ways to different parts of Minnesota.
Thank you for watching on Fast, by the way, and catch the rest of the episode on allphly.com. Vinny, we have a super chat from John who says, Vinny, you've been killing it all week. Great stuff, and your fits have been on point as always.
They have.
Saquon for
Thank
MVP.
You. Thank you. Absolutely. Saquon's going to go crazy.
Yeah, we look forward to sharing what you did today with the viewers.
Oh, I can't wait.
That was a lot of fun. Les, what else are you working on this week?
Well, I also talked to Jeff Stoutland very briefly, just as the whole thing was breaking up. The thing that I wanted to talk to him about was, obviously, he gets so many kudos now. He's universally recognized as the best offensive line coach of football. So does he ever think about, you could run your own offense somewhere, you could run your own team somewhere maybe, And he said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I've had opportunities. Maybe they just haven't been the right opportunity at the right time. Which, to me, left the door open for, now obviously this year there aren't, jobs are filled, but if Eagles fans want something to worry about down the road, I think if they win the Super Bowl, I think Stout at some point might become a commodity. I don't see why you wouldn't be interested in a guy like that to run your offense, right? Would you? What do you think?
I've spoken to Jeff about this before, and he said, he pointed out, I've been in like the interim head coach before. He's been an offensive coordinator before, and he said like he's used this line that he goes into the office every day and he leaves and he sees Jeffrey and he says, Mr. Lurie, I gave you everything I had today, right? And I think there is a part of him that doesn't feel that being the O-line coach it's like only the O-line coach.
Right.
That said, if you're in professional football, you're ambitious. I've never met I haven't met many unambitious people who are in professional football, especially coaching and management. So I would imagine that, but it's not as if he's, like 35 years old working his way up the ladder.
Yes.
And I think there is a part of him that knows he has it good here, that he has an organization that values him, whether it is in the contracts they give him, whether it's in the power they give him, and he has a lot of he brings in players that he wants, and so he has a good situation.
Yeah,
here.
the infrastructure with Lurie and with Howie is very stable, as we've seen. 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. You're not going to get that.
Exactly.
You could go run somebody's offense, but you don't have control over everything that happens in that building.
Yeah, but at the same time, Stout might be the only offensive line coach in the history of football that can go do an autograph signing in Philadelphia and line around the corner. Once you leave here, who else got passion like this?
Yeah. That's
right. And he said a few years ago he considered going to Alabama, right? And he decided to stay. This is, Shio Kapati did a great story a few years ago on like his family chose to stay here. This is important to them. So you're right.
Yeah. It's also just, logistically, he's not going to. He's not going to leave this year, right? Because there are staffs that have to be filled. It has to be somebody who he knows because
has confidence
in him to leave to be an offensive coordinator, because he's the highest paid assistant coach in football. He's being paid like a coordinator anyway.
Right.
And so you spoke to this before, Vinny. Like sometimes you feel like you want to find out what it's like somewhere else, but when you went to Tampa, you felt immediately like you wish you had stayed, right? You left a good situation.
And if Stout goes somewhere and become a head coach somewhere in the offensive line, when he get there, his first 2 years is not like how we are here. What's happens to him now? His legacy get tarnished.
Right.
So let's not even speak that to existence. Stout, stay your ass here.
Yeah.
I like that.
And you out there, stay your asses on the PHLY YouTube page, because that'll do it for this episode. But we've got another one coming up at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We've also got lots of other content being captured that will go out on the PHLY YouTube page. I think I saw Fran Duffy interviewing Joey Porter Jr. A couple minutes ago. Much more to come. And then tomorrow, 2 more stuff. Oh, we got some super chats, Julia. I don't have them. They're not coming through. The Wi-Fi is so bad. Let me see if I can pull them up on my phone. So here we go.
Okay.
All right. Super chat from Alex, who says, shout out to Vinny. He has taken a huge leap as a podcaster this week. Keep it up, and I want more of him on the show. It's like a love fest.
Yeah, buy Vinny stock right now. I'm telling you. You're not going to be able to get it soon.
Kevin Slate said, love hearing Beau on the pod. And I believe this is Beau, is who he means. Beau Allen. Vinny, please give a shout-out to my daughter, Azur, who is a freshman on the Marshall track team. She's a big Birds fan.
Go her, baby!
Yeah. Love that. Aaron says, completely random, but Nick Sirianni is the best. He has NFL experts stuttering when asked about what he does well. He coaches well. He's a coach. Okay.
I don't disagree.
We've been saying that. We've been saying he got robbed from Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
Chill Bill, Vinny, how do you feel about peeing sitting down?
Oh, let's not take it to the extreme. I don't piss sitting down. I don't know how to feel about that.
Didn't Jim Washburn? Didn't Jim Washburn used to ask you guys about that during the training camp? Yeah.
This guy right here, man.
That's good memory loss.
Yeah.
That was one of the things he would.
You know what, Vinny? Sometimes
I don't think you can
middle
yell
of the night.
Sitting down. This room ain't for you.
Yeah.
I guess I could not have played for Jim Washburn.
Yeah.
Middle of the night, sometimes you just want to sit.
Well, you don't want to. You want to control variables in the middle of the night. As an older person, you control what you can control.
You want to stay in
Yes.
sleep mode.
Yes.
Yeah, Beau rips on me for standing up, but you're with me.
No, it's
Yeah.
not that I rip on you. We don't need to go into the whole thing. It's not for standing up. It's for the outright refusal to never even consider sitting down.
I would never ever consider sit down. If I walk, yeah.
Good to know. Zach is just as masculine as you. Chase Daniel Plainview says, will Sirianni be fueled in the Super Bowl by the fact that Carson Wentz's poor play in 2021 laid the groundwork for Frank Reich's firing in 2022?
As Nick Sirianni has said, they don't need any more added motivation for this game. They want to win the Super Bowl as it is.
And then finally, Bruce says, go Birds. How do we get ZB to watch Eyes Wide Shut?
I'll watch anything. Yeah. What's it about?
Well, Nicole Kidman is naked a lot, I think. Is that not the case?
I believe she is naked.
Yeah.
I've not really seen this
listen,
movie,
we know
I've
how masculine
inferred
he
that.
is. That's he's sold.
Look, during the off season, I will watch more television, movies. So send over recommendations.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, I will. Well, after
You want
the
to do a
draft.
watch along live?
Yeah.
After the draft, between the draft and training camp, that's when that's when I unbutton a bit. So.
Hoo-hoo.
Yeah, when he watches
Berman
Eyes
after dark.
Wide Shut,
Yes.
he's going to be unbuttoned.
Yes.
There we go. All right. Anything else, Vinny? How about just Vinny? All right, that'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. Thanks, everybody, for watching and listening. We're back at 6 o'clock. Keep your eyes peeled to PHLY on YouTube, all that good stuff. For all of us here, for Beau Allen, Malcolm Jenkins, Fran Duffy, Les Beau, and Vinny Curry, Zach Berman, Julia, Chris, Jamie behind the scenes, all of us, we thank you for watching and listening. We'll talk to you later. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.